All right, Royal Sussex Squad, gather around because we've got a lot to get into today, and I mean a lot. Settle in, grab your tea and turn the volume up because for the next 2 hours, we're going all in on Meghan Markle, the truth, the lies, the media hypocrisy and the power of grace under fire. Let's go. Now you might have seen the headlines. They've been screaming all kinds of nonsense. Meghan Markle dropped from Gala. Gala cancelled after backlash. Meghan shunned again. You all know how they do. Always ready to twist a narrative, always hungry for scandal, always targeting the Duchess of Sussex with the same tired script. But what's the real story? The truth is this. Meghan Markle was scheduled to be honoured, yes, at the Natural History Museums of Los Angeles County's Night of Wonder Gala. An evening meant to uplift community champions, celebrate science and support the next generation of thinkers, doers and dreamers. Meghan was going to speak about her work championing women, underserved communities and equity-driven initiatives. But then, the event got postponed. Not because of Meghan, not because of some so-called controversy, but because there were immigration protests happening across Los Angeles, real people out in the streets, National Guard involvement, rubber bullets flying, tensions high. And the museum, showing care for the community, decided to postpone the gala. Period. They said, and I quote, "Our responsibility during challenging times is clear, to serve as a community resource focused on healing and unity, not celebration." Let that sink in. This wasn't a scandal, it was a moment of integrity, a decision rooted in compassion, and Meghan, she stood with it quietly, gracefully, as always. But did the media report it that way? Of course not, because a peaceful Meghan Markle doesn't sell papers, a principled Harry doesn't bring in ratings. They want drama. They want chaos. They want a narrative that justifies their endless hate campaign. Now let's be real for a second. Why is Meghan always the one under fire? Why is it that this woman, who has, why is she the one being picked apart every time she dares to show up? Because she's powerful, because she's black, because she's independent, because she doesn't shrink herself to make others comfortable. And that makes the institution and its defenders uncomfortable. Let's take a moment and remember, Meghan has always stood for something bigger than herself. She's a woman of action. She's someone who shows up, not just when the cameras are rolling, but when the community needs her most. When the wildfires hit California, Meghan postponed the premiere of her Netflix series, With Love, Meghan. Not because she had to, but because she wanted to center the people affected by the devastation. And what did she and Harry do? They opened there to evacuees, quietly, no big PR rollout, no photo ops, just compassion. And through their Archewell Foundation, they mobilized support to help rebuild. That's leadership. That's love in action. That's the kind of example we should be celebrating, not attacking. But when you're a woman who speaks with clarity, stands with purpose, and refuses to be silenced, the media calls it arrogance. They call it a PR stunt. They try to reduce her every move to strategy. But here's the thing. When Meghan does something kind, they say it's fake. When she sets a boundary, they say she's difficult. When she shows strength, they call her manipulative. It's exhausting. And it's predictable. Because every time Meghan shines, they scramble to dim the light. But here's what they don't understand. That light is, let's zoom out a bit. Because this gala postponement is part of a bigger picture. One that's really about how Meghan and Harry are reshaping what modern leadership looks like. And let's be real, that's what's driving the haters wild. That's why they're constantly trying to discredit them. You see, Meghan and Harry didn't just walk away from the royal family. They walked away from a broken system. One that protects tradition over truth, image over integrity, and status over service. And since then, they've been building. Let's talk about Archewell, not just the foundation, but the entire vision. This isn't just some vanity project. Archewell is grounded in 3 pillars: non-profit work, creative storytelling, and compassionate community building. And through that lens, they've already made tangible change. Let's get specific. Archewell's partnership with World Central Kitchen, they've helped build community relief centres, not temporary fixes, but permanent hubs, in places like Puerto Rico and India. That's meals, clean water, shelter, resources, delivered with dignity. Archewell also teamed up with the Centre for Humane Technology to combat online harassment. Because let's face it, Meghan has lived through of the digital hate machine, and instead of hiding, she said, "Let's fix it." That's leadership. And when they launched, what did Meghan do? She didn't gossip, she didn't air dirty laundry. She sat down with powerful women and had real conversations about how society boxes us in, how stereotypes hold women back. She created space for honesty, and in doing so, she shattered myths about who she is. But you'll never hear about that on certain networks, you know the ones. Because here's the thing, truth doesn't trend in tabloids, drama does. And Meghan refusing to play their game is what drives them insane. Let's pause on that for a second, because I know you'll see the game too. Why is it that when Meghan supports underserved communities, she's called calculated, but when Kate does the same, she's dutiful? Why is it that when Meghan speaks with passion, she's difficult, but when William loses his temper, he's under pressure? Why is it that when Harry defends his wife, he's whipped, but when Charles protected Camilla, it was noble? The double standards are so loud it's laughable, or at least it would be if it weren't so dangerous. Because this isn't just petty, it's purposeful. They want to isolate Meghan, discredit her, erase her impact. But let me tell you something right now. It's not working. In fact, it's backfiring because every hit piece only exposes the truth. They're scared. Scared of her voice, scared of her power, scared of a woman who built her platform without bending the knee. Meghan Markle isn't going anywhere. She is raising a daughter who will know that her mother didn't shrink to make others comfortable. She is raising a son who will understand what healthy masculinity looks like, modelled by his father, a man who defends his family, stands up for what's right, and builds a legacy on his own terms. Together, Meghan and Harry are raising the next generation of leaders. And that's what terrifies the people still clutching their pearls about protocol. Because guess what? Protocol is outdated. Love is not. Silence is complicit. Truth is necessary. And in 2025, we're not going backward. We're not bowing to tabloids. We're not fawning over outdated hierarchies. We're building new systems, new platforms, new communities. So, if you're part of this squad, I want you to know something. You're part of a movement. You're part of the reason the world is finally seeing Meghan and Harry for who they are. Not villains, not victims, but visionaries. Every time you clap back on Twitter, every time you repost the facts, every time you comment, "We love you, Meghan," you are shifting the narrative, you are helping balance the scale, because we are done letting these so-called experts rewrite her story. We are the media now. And on that note, if you loved this episode, if you felt seen, if you're ready to keep amplifying truth and compassion, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and smash that super thanks if you want to support even more bold content like this. This is Royal Sussex Squad, and we are not neutral. We are not quiet. We're not here for the foolishness. We are here for truth, for justice, for Harry and Meghan. And as long as they're walking in purpose, we're walking right beside them. Come closer and let us sit for a moment. In my long life, I've learned that truth is often quiet, easily lost in the noise. It doesn't shout. It waits to be discovered like a rare bird in a dense forest. Today, I want to talk about a story caught in this modern storm, a woman at the centre of headlines and speculation. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. You've likely heard many things about her, painted in bold, dramatic colours, but the truth of a person's character is found in small, consistent actions, not in dramatic headlines. Let's look beyond the noise and seek that quieter truth. We crave simple stories with clear heroes and villains, but reality is rarely so simple. The stories we're told about public figures are shaped by the need to provoke, not to encourage understanding. So join me, not into the wild jungles, but into the dense thicket of modern media. Our goal, to observe, understand and perhaps find a clearer picture, one about decency and the courage to live with purpose in the world's glare. Recently, headlines buzzed about a prestigious Los Angeles gala linked to the Archewell Foundation, founded by Prince Harry and Meghan. The event was postponed, and the media spun tales of scandal and failure. A simple fact became a playground for speculation, with anonymous sources and past controversies fueling negativity. The real reason? Far less dramatic and far more responsible. At the time, Los Angeles was battling devastating wildfires, threatening homes, displacing families, and stretching emergency services. In this context, a glamorous fundraising gala would have been tone-deaf. Organizers, including Meghan and Harry, chose to postpone out of respect for the community. It wasn't a sign of failure, but of empathy. The community's needs and safety came first. This decision was a quiet act of solidarity, people over publicity, compassion over commerce. Yet, the truth was buried beneath layers of manufactured drama. This is how public perception is shaped, one headline at a time. The choice to postpone the gala was guided by a simple principle: community first. True leadership means knowing when to pause and listen. Meghan and Harry redirected their energy to support those affected by the wildfires. Behind the scenes, they worked with local relief organizations, offering support and amplifying the needs of first responders and displaced families. This steady, unseen work rarely makes headlines. The media often paints Meghan as obsessed with image, but here she chose quiet service over the spotlight. Actions like these reveal a strong moral compass and genuine commitment to others. When crisis hits, the Sussexes respond with practical support, not grand pronouncements. This is leadership through action, not just words. How does a responsible decision become a negative story? It starts with omitting context. The wildfires were rarely mentioned alongside the gala's postponement. Into this vacuum, speculation is poured, shifting the narrative from community crisis to celebrity crisis. Anonymous sources and recycled controversies add fuel, creating a story of chaos. Meghan, already cast as controversial, is judged through a biased lens. The postponement is twisted to fit a pre-existing caricature. Negative headlines reinforce public perception, creating a cycle that's hard to break. The quieter, compassionate truth is lost in the noise. Understanding this process is crucial if we want to see people for who they truly are. We must look past the drama to find the real story. In the marketplace of news, quiet truths are often the first casualties. Meghan Markle faces a double standard unlike any other royal. Actions praised in others are criticized in her. Her advocacy is called too political, her independence seen as crass commercialism. This isn't opinion, it's a pattern visible in years of headlines. When other royals champion causes, it's duty. When Meghan does, it's controversy. Her professional achievements are reframed as exploitation of her status. Why? The answer is complex, rooted in biases about race, nationality, and tradition. Meghan is an American, a woman of mixed race and self-made. She doesn't fit the centuries-old royal mold, and her presence challenges old assumptions. For some, that challenge is uncomfortable, leading to relentless, unfair scrutiny. The standard is different for her, and it's time we ask why. Beyond the headlines, there's a story of consistent, meaningful work. Meghan's commitment to service predates her royal life. She's long advocated for women and girls, working with organizations like World Vision and the UN. Through Archewell, she and Harry take direct action, helping repair shelters, building relief centers, and supporting communities in crisis. Their work is hands-on, practical, and focused on real impact. Her podcast, Archetypes, tackled stereotypes and empowered millions to rethink biases. These efforts happen away from paparazzi and gossip columns. It's the work of feeding families, supporting women, and building communities. This is the untold truth behind the headlines. It's not a story of scandal, but of service. Meghan uses her platform for the betterment of others, despite relentless criticism. This is the reality that deserves our attention. Quiet, steady, and focused on impact. Harry and Meghan aren't abandoning service. They're redefining it for the modern world. Their model is less about ceremony, more about direct impact and authentic connection. They listen first, whether in a community kitchen or a girls' school, seeking to understand and amplify local voices. This is a partnership, not a top-down approach. Their projects deliver tangible results, from mental health initiatives to online safety programs. They're not content with raising awareness, they want to be part of the solution. This hands-on approach challenges the status quo and suggests new ways to serve. By stepping outside the institution, they've gained freedom to pursue more agile, impactful service. They show that you don't need a palace to make a difference, just compassion, courage and commitment. This is modern leadership in action. We return to a world saturated with noise. Beyond the headlines, we find a quieter story of a woman leading with grace and service despite relentless scrutiny. Meghan's treatment reflects our culture's biases and appetite for drama, but we have a choice to join the cycle of gossip or to seek facts and approach others with empathy. The resilience of Meghan and Harry is a lesson in conviction and compassion. They show us that purpose isn't dictated by critics, but by contributions. This isn't just about one woman, it's about the world we want to build. Do we choose cynicism or kindness? Let's celebrate those who serve with compassion. Let's champion truth over gossip and fairness over prejudice. And let's have the wisdom to see the quiet, steady work that truly makes a difference. Until next time, stay kind, stay bold, and as always, stay Sussex strong.